Okay, today we're going to be doing some basic training on the VC or SC 950 glue seal case erector. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is safety. There's two entry points into the machine. One at the back where you load the boxes in on the magazine, one on the outfit of the machine. These are clearly labelled with do not enter stickers. But just to be aware, they are the two hazardous points on the machine. There's tunnel guards on them, but just be cautious around those areas. The other area to be cautious around is the hot melt glue. There's a glue tank on the back of the machine that runs at about 170 degrees. So obviously care needs to be taken around there. There's full safety documentation and manuals. Likewise, inside the machine, when we open up the door in here, the machine's automatically isolated through a category 3 safety circuit. But the glue heads inside the machine here are still hot. They're still at about 180 degrees. So if you're doing anything around those glue heads, you really need to have gloves on. Okay, now we're going to look at loading the magazine on the machine. It seems like a simple task, but you've got to get it right, otherwise the machine's just simply not going to work. So first thing we're going to look at is on the back of the machine we've got this label, and this label basically shows you the orientation in which you have to put the boxes into the machine. So on here you've got a picture of a cardboard box, and it's a flat cardboard box, so same as what you're going to need to load into the machine. So you can see the long panel of the box on the farther side away from me, and the short panel of the box is closest to me. So when the boxes are put into the machine, they have to look like this from the back of the machine. If we look at these boxes here, you can see the short panel is on this side, the long panel is on that side. Okay, so we get our boxes, put them in the machine. Now, cardboard boxes typically come with a strap on them, that strap there. So the best way to load these machines up is to leave that strap on. You can load this machine fully up to the back, whether it's running or not running, doesn't really matter. And then you've got these hold back arms here. Just grab them by the shaft, just pull them back, they'll just pop out. And then once the boxes are loaded to the machine, you just want to give them a tap on the top, make sure they're sitting nice and level. If you've got any cardboard strippings coming at the top of the box, just remove those. And then snip the strap, pull the strap out once they're in the machine. They're much easier to handle if you leave the strap on. So that's loading the machine, but yeah, can't stress enough. You've just got to make sure you put the boxes in the right way. If you don't put the boxes in the right way, you're going to have all sorts of problems running the machine. Okay, now that we've loaded the machine up with the boxes, I'll show you how to start the machine. So first thing you have to do is make sure that all the doors are shut and the e-stops are released. So that's the door at the front, the door on the side, the e-stop here. Now you press F3 to reset the machine. If you watch the screen, you can see in the interlocks it now says OK. Until the interlocks say OK, you won't be able to start the machine. So it says machine status is off, interlocks OK, so we're ready to start. So F1 will start the machine. F2 stops the machine. Simple as that. So the only other thing to make mention about when running the machine is if there's a fault, you have to press an e-stop or open a door. Any packaging that's within the machine has to be completely cleared out before you can start the machine again. So imagine there was some issue, so we opened the door, machine e-stopped, clear the machine out, and then when we reset the machine, The interlock's actually saying powering down. When the machine's e-stopped, it takes 10 seconds before the machine's completely powered down, and you can get it into a state where you can reset it again. So you've just got to keep an eye on that interlock window to see what state the machine's in. Okay, so now we've got the machine running. I'm going to take you through how to do a size change on the machine. So in your manual you'll find a setup chart. This page normally gets stuck on the machine, and each different box size has its own setup. You'll also need a 13mm spanner and a size change handle. So now we'll just go through the 10 steps of doing a size change on this machine. Okay, so the first step on our setup chart is changing the magazine width. Now, I should have mentioned before, before you start a size change on the machine, you need to make sure that the e-stop is depressed. Okay, so magazine width, we're changing to a slightly larger box here. So I go down the side of the magazine, there's a little label on there that says 01, which is step number 1. I need to adjust that to 660 millimetres. These counters are actually calibrated in millimetres, so that'll be a 660 millimetre wide box. So just wind the handle until we get to 660. Take it off, we're all done. Okay, now we're going to move on to setting the magazine height and the magazine top guide. So the magazine height is this big unit here, the magazine top guide is this unit here. Once again, we've got labels, 02 magazine height, 03 magazine top guide. So we're adjusting magazine height to 305. So simply wind that to 305. And magazine top guide is 160. So that's those two set. Okay, so we've set the magazine height and the magazine top guide. Now, just while we're doing this, I thought I'd show you a couple of double checks to do on these settings, because these settings are very critical to the machine performing well. So, so the other thing that you do get is you get variation in packaging, and sometimes if the packaging is out of spec, it's important to understand what's going on here so that you can adjust the machine to run the packaging. Okay, so so here we've got a pointer. Now this pointer basically should always be pointing at the fold line between the main panel of the box and the flap of the box. Okay, so it doesn't matter what size box you're running, that has to line up with that. Okay, so that's the first double check to do. The second check to do is just looking between this top guide and the top of the box. You can see there's about 8 to 10 millimetres of clearance from the top of the box to that top guide, and then you've got this 10 millimetre holdback bar. So basically that 8 to 10 millimetres of clearance, that's to allow the boxes to come forward underneath the top guide. Sometimes if the packaging's oversized, you may need to adjust this top guide, but always remember that this pointer needs to be looking at that line there. So that's the real key one. Okay, so now we're moving on to the front minor flap folder. Okay, so once again, clearly labelled step 04. And you see here we've got this chart. Basically there's numbers along the top and along the bottom, and you've got a slot A and slot B. So if we look at our setup chart, we need to set this up at B12. So this is one of the size changes you need a 13mm spanner for. In this case, we're already in slot B, but there's occasions where you have to take these bolts right out. You have to move this unit into slot A. So we need to set this up to B12. So there's a notch at the bottom here. So we line that up with 12, and we're in slot B, so we basically set that up. Snip up those bolts, and that's adjusted. Okay, so now we're doing adjusting the opening arm. Now the opening arm has got a brake on it, so the first thing you have to do is you have to unlock the brake. Now I normally turn the opening arm around to the side. Once again, you've got your counter on the back. Look at our chart. We need to be at 325. So put the handle on the back, hold the brake up. Adjust it to 325, make sure you lock the brake back up. That's that one done. Okay, now we're on to step 06, which is main drive width. So this is the width of the box. So we need to set this to 330. So just put your handle on there. 330. That's done. Okay, now we're adjusting the main drive top guide. So we need to adjust that to 315. So you're going to jump inside the machine for this one. Here's your adjustment up here. Adjust that to 315. That's done.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're on to the compression station. So once again, this one's got a locking lever on it. So unlock that lever, put your handle on there. We need to go to 460 on this one. Wind that down, lock it back up. That's that one done.
You ready?
Okay, now we've got the last two adjustments to make, which are 09 secondary cups and number 10, which is the primary cups. So once again, you need your 13mm spanner. There's a lock nut on here. Just undo these lock nuts. And then your cups are free to move. Okay, so these cups here have to be set to 820. You've got a pointer on the back of your cups. So we'll set those to 820. Basically just lock that up. Just gently. And then lock up the lock nut underneath. What you're looking for here is you're looking for your cups to be within about 20mm of the edge of the box. They want to be as wide as they can be, but not off the edge of the box. Then our primary vacuum cups, they're being set to 500 for this particular box. So once again, we move those along to 500 and nip them up. Now, once again, what we're looking for here is this is the join in the box between the long side, or the length of the box and the width of the box. So we're looking for this cup to be about 10 to 20mm away from that fold line. That cup can't be over that fold line. So that's just a little double check for you when you're setting up these cups. And that's it. We're all done. We should be ready to run. Okay, so we've completed our size change now. Loaded some boxes into the magazine. So once again, reset the machine, F1 to start, and we're all done.